Hi everyone, let's welcome to my channel World Knowledge. Once again, I am here to share the recent conditions of Iran. Today we will know the answers of many questions. Why are there mass protests in Iran? How it started? Are US getting involved in this protest? Moreover, we will know the recent condition. Also will come to know that how this protest start. So let's start. Iranian protests gather momentum as regime crackdown. Demonstrators recount experience on the front line as protest movement rapidly moves beyond government's control. Thousands of people are feared death after a crackdown on anti-government protests in Iran. As Iranians describe terrible level of death and destruction in their first calls to family abroad in days. Third week of protest. More than 500 protesters in Iran have been killed and almost 11,000 people have been arrested as anti-government protests continue. A US-based rights group said an internet blackout, which also is impacting mobile phone calls, has lasted for 4 days. There are also the funding pressure. The US administration is under pressure to step up its effort to support internet freedom after it cut funding last year. US tariffs. President Trump said countries that do business with Tehran will face a new 25% tariff. The announcement appears to mean goods from China, a major trading partner of both Iran and the US, would become significantly more expensive to import. Diplomacy. Iran earlier said it's ready to talk with the US, but it's prepared for war. Iran's foreign minister has communicated in recent days with Trump's special envoy Witkoff. An Iranian security official tells news agencies that the death toll could be around 2,000 people. One protesters will reportedly be executed tomorrow, with a human rights group saying they have never witnessed a case move on quickly. Demonstrations have been ongoing for the week. State media reports protest calmed the last night. So here now we will know to the answer of the why are the mass protests in Iran and could the US get involved? Anti-government protests have erupted across all 31 of Iranian's provinces in a wave of unrest that marks the biggest challenge to the regime in years. An ongoing communications shutdown, which experts says is unpredicted in its scale, was imposed by authorities on Thursday and has mostly isolated the country from the outside the world, aimed the deadly unrest. US President Donald Trump has threatened to attack Iran if its security forces respond with force against protesters, as rights group reports hundreds have been killed and thousands arrested. What triggered these protesters? It's the main question. The protesters began around 2 weeks ago in Tehran's bazaars over rampant inflation, but have spread to more than 180 cities and towns across the country, morphing into general protest against the regime. Concerns over inflation came to a head when the prices of basic goods such as cooking oil and chicken dramatically spiked, with some products vanishing from shelves altogether. So basically, all this started after the inflation spikes and the prices also spikes. Iran's reformist governments attempted to alleviate the pressure by efforting direct cash handout of almost $7 per month to the entire population, but the move failed to quell the unrest. It was started from the inflation and now it's escalating. How widespread are the protests and how many people have died? The unrest is the biggest in scale since 2022. With the death of 22 years old Mahsa Amini is the custody of religions police, prompted the widespread women life freedoms protest, fueled by poverty and sometimes ethnic inequality. Crowd chanted death to Khamenei, directly challenging Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Khamenei, who holds ultimate authority over the national religions and state affairs. More than 500 protesters, including at least 9 children, have been killed since demonstration began. Almost 11,000 individuals have been arrested. How are the protests different this time? The fact that the recent protests began with the Bazaar is a powerful force for change in Iran's history and seen as loyal to the regime. The enduring alliance between the Bazaris and Iran's Shia Muslim clergy gave the shopkeepers a crucial role as kingmakers across the Iran's recent history. It was the support of those clerks that eventually helped the Islamic revolutions of 1979. For more than 100 years of Iranian history, Bazaris have been key actors in all of the Iran's major political movements. Their role as a major political force has become more symbolic, but the impact of fluctuations in currency on their businesses. This what led them to spark the protests that have since turned deadly. Authorities have also sought to differentiate between economic protests and those calling for regime change. Hurt by Israel's large-scale infiltration and strikes last year, Iran regimes moved fastly to brand those demanding changes as enemies of the state. The emergence of the Raza Pahlavi, the exiled son of the deposed Shah, as an alternative leader was equally striking as he actively rallied protests and called for them to take to the streets. So, here there are many things which are initiating the Iranian protesters. This round of protesters feels different. Why it feels different from the previous ones? Because of the sense of frustration and exhaustion among pupils. It's reached a boiling point. Although there are many voices in the country, I anticipate that the Islamic Republic that we are seeing today is one unlikely to see 2027. I really think there is going to be some change. It was the voices from the Iran. The influence of Iranian regime has also been substantially weak compared to the previous periods of unrest in the wake of Hamas after October 7, 2023, when the Israel attacks to the Gaza. As Israel responded by launching a campaign to root out Tehran's proxies from the region, and both Israel and the United States struck Iranian nuclear facilities last year. Who runs Iran? And what is the regime doing about the unrest? Iran has been a theocracy since 1979, when Clark toppled a secular monarch allied with the West, leading to the formation of the Islamic Republic led by Khamenei's producers Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini. Masoud was elected president in 2024, promoting a more pragmatic foreign policy, but his powers are limited. On Sunday, he also blamed his country's ongoing unrest on foreign linked terrorists, who he said was burning bazaars, mosques, and cultural sites. He also said last year's 12-day war between Israel and Iran has led this country into the chaos. Some protesters could face the death penalty for their actions. Although this condition worse this time, both the government and the protesters are side by side against each other. Corruption across all parts of the government, mismanagement of funds, and the convergence of environment problems stagnant their leadership has taken the leadership to the brink. None of Iran's political leaders have a blueprint to get Iran out of the crisis. Now we will see what have Trump and Khamenei said. Trump said his administration is monitoring the deadly protest in Iran. He is counting the weight potential. The military is looking at it, and we have looked at some very strong options. So now, either what do you think? Will US interfere in these conditions? Maybe yes, maybe not. But there are the more chances of the US interfering. Trump said he received a call from Iran on Saturday to the negotiation and the US threats. They called yesterday. Trump said that they are ready to this negotiation. Iran is ready to negotiate with the US based on mutual respect and interest. Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi said Monday. Iran Foreign Ministry spokesman Ismail Baghai also said a communication channel between Araghchi and US Special Envoy Steve Witkoff. The US President has also announced the 25% of tariff on the countries who will be the trade with Iran just 6 months After 6 months, now once again, US started to interfere the Iran matter. Khamenei also thanked to the Iranian who participated the Monday pro-government rallies, but still this condition is going to be the worst of this year. So let's see now what will happen next. For more news, more dramas, more chows, and for know the exact news break. Stay tuned with this channel. Soon I will be here for the upcoming news. Till then, take care of yourself.